We're at Mount Wilson here. This is the 60-inch telescope. We've got Astronate trying to get on the Wi-Fi here with Geo. But this is pretty cool. So we're just going to hang out. I'm not going to say too much. And this has been interesting. We just got out of the basement looking at Edwin Hubble's locker, which I didn't fully clean out. That was pretty funny. So anyway, I'm going to flip the camera around and just take it in. So what's this? Oh, that's just that axis.
So this is a tub filled with liquid mercury.
What? That's so much mercury.
The telescope is 22 tons, and this is circa 1908. And they didn't know how to maneuver 22 tons effortlessly, so they invented this liquid bearing of liquid mercury. It's only about 5 gallons of liquid mercury in here, but liquid mercury is very dense, so those 5 gallons translates to like 700 pounds of
Holy cow.
And so we take this 22 tons of steel and sit it on a floater on this liquid mercury, and now the telescope can slide back and forth on the liquid bearing of mercury. This used to be exposed, so you can come up here and lick some liquid mercury or touch the liquid mercury, whatever you wanted to do with it. As a matter of fact, here is George Ellery Hale along with Carnegie, and you can see the exposed wheel there. So you can touch the liquid mercury. If you move the telescope too fast, some of the mercury will spill on the ground. You just pick it up and wipe it on your shirt. Remember, 1908, nobody knew the dangers of liquid mercury. If you could afford healthcare back then, and you complain of migraine headaches, they would take liquid mercury and boil it off. You would inhale the fumes, and it did an amazing job of getting rid of your migraines. It also killed half your brain cells, but that's just a small side effect. You would be headache-free. So we seal the tub. We no longer have access to the liquid mercury, but we do have a port that we can put more liquid mercury if we need to. Ever since we sealed it shut, it doesn't evaporate. It's so dense that we haven't had to replace or add any more liquid mercury to it.
Hey guys, we are live today at Mount Wilson in California. And this is Giovanni, and he is showing us around some of the sites up here, and he can explain what we're looking at right here.
Yeah, so this is the famous 60-inch telescope. This telescope began operation in 1908, but it was the brainchild of George Ellery Hale. And so George Ellery Hale is known for having the biggest telescopes on Earth back to back to back to back to back to back. So it all started for him at Yerkes Observatory, where he had the biggest telescope in the world, which was the 40-inch refracting telescope. He hadn't even opened Yerkes Observatory when the mirror for this telescope arrived, and it was sitting in the basement at Yerkes Observatory. This mirror for this telescope was purchased in 1896. And it's 60-inch diameter mirror, 7.5 inches thick, 1,900 pounds of glass.
That's a heavy mirror.
That is a heavy mirror. That's why we're using this liquid tub filled with mercury so we can slide the telescope back and forth. The moving parts alone are 22 tons.
So cool.
So
amazing.
This is really portable. We can't take this to a star
We
park.
got Nate is filming for his channel here, and so he's working on a long video, I think, for his YouTube channel.
The hiking trail.
And so I'm just hanging out, occasionally operating a second
It is portable.
camera
You
for
have to
him,
break it down into smaller pieces.
but really we're just having some fun. All right, I'm gonna shut up and go back to other camera.
And I have some video footage of the trail and stuff he's speaking about there. A lot of the old trail's still there.
So we have custom IP custom-made 4-inch eyepieces. But we also have the adapter, so you know, if you don't have 4-inch eyepieces, we can use a 2-inch eyepiece, or we can use an 1.25 inch. I don't ever remember having to have used the 1.25 inch adapter because I got the 4-inch ones. Why would I bother with anything else? Would you like to see some of the 4-inch ones?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's come over here.
Yeah. So this is Mount Wilson Observatory. And so this is the smaller of the two. You know, I think they've got the 100-inch, which we'll probably see next. Eyepiece drawer. Holy cow. There's some eyepieces.
And just for a small reference,
That's a nice eyepiece.
It has two handles on the eyepiece. Look at this. It's a beast.
you know, if you have a 2-inch eyepiece, this is amazing already, but the 4-inch ones.
They get a light on it. There we go.
Yeah, it's pretty dark in here.
That's adjusting pretty good.
Well, that looks like an off-the-shelf eyepiece, but just like got in the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids machine and got made bigger. Oh my gosh.
It's quite insane. That is awesome.
Is that like an
An Elite 80.
80 millimeter or 8 millimeter?
I think it's an 80.
That one's at 80 millimeters.
Okay, that's incredible.
So at 80 millimeters, we're doing about 300 magnification.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
With the 100 millimeter, we're doing about 240 magnification. And so every once in a while, we'll switch to like, this is about a 56, or probably like a 60 millimeter.
So which telescope was the crater, the canyons on Mars one? With the astronomer who thought there were, you know, canals on Mars? Was that here at Wilson?
No,
That was at Lovell.
Lowell, I believe. Yeah, so that one, you know, we've now learned that what that person was seeing is he was getting so close to the eyepiece, he was getting his own veins from his eyeballs in there. So he was actually, as he's tracing these canals on Mars, he's actually tracing what the retina in his eye really look like when you get enough light pumping through it.
Oh man. That's pretty wild.
These eyepieces are just crazy though. Look at that compared to my hand.
Welcome in, anybody. This is on YouTube right now. We're here with Giovanni at Mount Wilson. We're touring all over the place right now, and look at this is a great.
The glass.
What is this? The 60-inch, 100-inch? I keep forgetting.
This is the 60.
60.
Yeah.
Hey guys. So what I'll be doing is
You got the most important part of any giant telescope. Mr. Coffee. Got the manual.
These are Edison light bulbs. Circa 19. So we are actually using them as resistors. Keep in mind 1908 technology, we didn't really have resistors that we could use that while back then. So this was our attempt to have resistors. And so here is Edison holding on to that light bulb with that little spike at the end. And if you look closely, you can see those little spikes right there. Eventually Edison figured out he's not going to make any money if light bulbs last this long, so he made them so that they would wear out a lot faster. These have been in operation here since 1908, but we're really not putting a lot of current through it. So this is DC power, because originally up here we did not have anything but DC power. And DC power hits on really hard. So when we activate this to open up the shutter, if we don't have the resistors, the power just hit really hard. So by running some of that power through that, it starts to build up, and the motor little by little starts cranking up, cranking up, cranking up. The more these heat up, the more energy can flow through, and then after a while, you're moving at full speed anyway. When I disengage this, you'll see a green spark jump up and try to kill me. In days past, if I died, it was okay because there's like 10 of other astronomers ready to take my spot. But OSHA now insisted that we put this $5 piece of plastic here to save my life. So the spark should be coming out of here. It'll be green light in 3, 2, there we go.
All right, I'm gonna hop over and go live on TikTok for a little bit. We're at Mount Wilson, California, guys. We can see all over LA at the Mount Wilson Observatory. So hit up TikTok, and I'm gonna do a live there, and I'll be back here to do more. We'll kind of switch it back and forth. So when this comes down, this right up.
All right, wasn't that great? Here's the eyepiece right here, where the instruments go.
Go up and down, we have it there. We're supposed to be wearing.
There's your controls for the telescope at the eyepiece.
So I work at
Your tower rad. Look at this. Whoop. Can I turn on the tail rad?
We'd have to power it down from
Okay,
below.
that's okay. That's hilarious.
So I'm president emeritus of Los Angeles Astronomical Society, and it was one of our members, Steve Kufeld, invented the Telrad.
What?
So
No
every
kidding.
telescope I operate, I have a Telrad on
Yep.
to honor Steve Kufeld. So Steve Kufeld, member of Los Angeles Astronomical Society, inventor of the Telrad.
That's amazing. I have a bucket of them in my basement right now, in case one breaks.
Another one, so
Yep.
Next time you're in
Next
town,
time I'm in
bring
LA.
another one. So this
Yep.
one has a Telrad. On the 100-inch, we got 2 Telrads.
Yeah, they come in handy. They get left on, and then, although the batteries last, even if you leave it on, a good 3 months,
Well,
but
this one we
you're wired
put it
in.
up so that it's wired. So as soon as I power up the telescope, this can be on all day long and no problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's only 3 volts, so
And
that's cool.
I think in the 12 years I've been up here, I've had to use it twice. Because every once in a while, the tracking computer will go off wire, and so I'll use the Telrad, center on a star that I know the name of, like Vega, center it on the eyepiece, and then go reprogram the whole computer system and let the computer system know, hey, I'm currently at this address, at this right ascension, and at this declination. And once I reprogram everything, then it goes
Yep.
back to normal.
What's the software that it uses?
Oh God, that's above my pay grade.
And we have TikTok live starting. This will have craziness because I think wide doesn't do too much on YouTube, but then I'll do a vertical live next. That would be
Yeah.
TikTok, here they come. Here they come. All right, guys. We are at Mount Wilson in California.
Get the master at work here.
60-inch telescope in the observatory. We're going to be looking around Mount Wilson today with Giovanni.
This is Mount Wilson Observatory.
Telescope man.
Telescope man.
So Nate's talking to his many followers here. Whoa, there's Meta. Hey, I can look at a feed with zillions of people on it there. You guys are awesome.
Jeremy, let us know where you guys are tuning in from. This is from California.
So Nate has, I think, about 3 million followers.
All right, Telescope man, we can.
So people love them some
continue
Nate.
on. He's been talking about a lot of cool
Yeah, so this was the biggest telescope on planet Earth from 1908 to 1917. So 9-year run of being the biggest telescope in the world. And we still use it to this day. So we were just up here last week and got to see some amazing targets through this telescope. Originally, this plate here held the glass emulsion plates, and that's how we took the pictures. We actually had the photons landing on a piece of glass, and we made some of those pictures that way. I'll show you one in a bit. But now we converted this device to actually hold eyepieces, and we didn't want to just go with your regular boring 1.5 or 2-inch eyepiece. So we actually have custom-made 4-inch eyepieces that fit right in here. So when you look, things like Saturn and Jupiter can be almost half the eyepiece long if you have the right focus on there. So it's just an amazing piece of equipment that we still use to this day. Just last year, I discovered a triple solar system with this telescope. So we do science runs throughout the year. The particular science runs that we do out of here is something called speckle interferometry, where we attach these really high-end cameras up here, and we move to a target that we believe it's a binary star system, and in less than a minute, I can photograph 1,000 images of that star system. Then college students then take that data and go tease it out and figure out and measure the distances between binaries. And we've been adding up to the science runs and keeping good, accurate measurement of the distance of binaries, but every once in a while we find stuff that we weren't prepared to see or we didn't know was even there.
Yeah, so it's the middle of the day here. We're going to be going over to a solar observatory soon. So at that point, we'll cut off here as soon as Sunshine Nate there finishes up, and then hopefully we'll get some views there.
Hi everybody, I see you all.
This is pretty cool. So the floors, of course, are removable if they need to do an observation way down low, or if the bottom of the telescope is up high. You've got these platforms that can move around, cranes and everything. Are we heading out? Oh, they're going to talk about eyepieces over there. Yeah, for anyone that's just joining, here, I'm going to clean my lens real quick. So you can get that glare off. That just made it worse. Okay, they're going to go look at the telescope eyepieces over here, so check this out. Look at these eyepieces.
4-inch eyepiece, guys.
So that one translates to 240 times magnification. But 240 times through a 60-inch is very different than 240 times on like a 12-inch.
Okay, this has, can I take the cap off?
Yeah, take it off. It's a fish eye lens, so when I'm looking at a globular cluster through it, I have to like bend my head around, and I feel like I'm looking through the stars. I'm literally
Look at that eyepiece.
When I'm looking at like M13 on this.
Look at this thing. This thing looks like it belongs in it's like a periscope for a submarine or something.
It's quite heavy. It's what, like 20 pounds, you think?
Yeah, it's probably 15, 20 pounds.
Quite heavy.
It needs the 2 handles.
Well, this we have 100 millimeter. That's the one I use the most. Ends up being about 240 magnification on it, I think. 240, and the 80 millimeter, I think it's like 320. That's what it is. And we have like a 65 millimeter, which also comes in handy when we're trying to zoom in on planetary nebula.
Wow. Those are amazing, amazing. And now, for these guys on TikTok, this telescope we're looking at, some cool things. It's a 60-inch. It's, how old is this?
So the
guys
mirror
hear okay?
itself was poured
We can walk around.
in 1894-ish, 1894, 1896. But the whole telescope didn't come together up until 1908. And it's 22 tons of moving steel. And so they device this bearing here. This is a liquid bearing so that the telescope can slide back and forth with little ease. So this liquid bearing is filled with 5 gallons of liquid mercury. And so the liquid mercury is very dense. So as we dump the 22 tons of steel, it actually floats on the liquid mercury. The liquid mercury gets dispersed all around a big wheel that's in there. And then the telescope mount just slides on that liquid bearing. So whenever I'm moving left to right, you don't even hear anything. You see the telescope gently slide back and forth.
You got a screenshot of that, guys. This thing's huge. How cool is that?
That's so cool.
We have John right here from Learning to Stargaze. And this is Telescope Man over here, Giovanni. You can find him on Instagram at telescope_man.
And TikTok.
And same thing on TikTok?
Same
At
thing.
Telescope_man.
We might put him in the guest position today. There's a little guest box I put on TikTok so you guys can just click and follow.
You guys want to see the gears of this telescope?
Yeah.
So let me put these eyepieces away.
And what's under the tarp?
What's under the target?
This is
Is this where we communicate with the aliens?
So because we're starting to get some snow up here, we want to make sure if anything drips down, it doesn't drip down on my computer console up here.
This is definitely where we communicate with the aliens.
So I sit here and run the telescope from here.
Wow, nothing but the latest technology.
You know, I know that sadly you go on YouTube, sometimes you hear about the Earth being flat, but when we learned that it wasn't flat, we mapped out a way of tracking the sky above us with right ascension and declination. So essentially, we projected a 24-hour clock from east to west of planet Earth all around us, and every object in space was assigned a time address. So all I have to do is I get a readout of the time address of where it's pointing at. I use software like Sky Safari, find what my next target's gonna be. And then in real time, I just push the gas in a direction, north, south, east, west. And because we have encoders built into the motor, as the motor begins to spin, my readout begins to change. And so I call this a push to, not a go to, a push to. Push to, okay, because I'm pushing to that address.
Gotcha.
And, you know, sometimes I get overexcited and I might overshoot it by a few minutes and I come back. So I try to park it as close accurately as possible, but I usually work with a partner, and my partner up front has a safe control panel. And once my partner sees it on the lens, they're like, hey, I got it, and they'll center it for me. Infrared camera, so we can see if there's anybody on the telescope before we begin moving it. And just,
Yeah, I had imagine once that moves, you're not going to be able to sit there and grab this stuff. Not with those motors.
well, 22 tons moving back and forth. So what happens when 22 tons
I just
collide?
bought these.
We have an example right up here. The person that no longer works here.
Burnham Celestial Handbook. Do we have a RASC Observer's Handbook?
So somebody collided this portion
Overlooked objects?
onto the
Messier.
sphere, and you can see where we just bent the steel like nothing.
Messier objects.
Oh, yeah.
The ladder got stands up here. Fence in. Now the other pin against this, so it's going to be the ladder.
Wow. Don't do it. Don't remove the tools. How cool is this, guys? How cool is this? Mount Wilson Observatory. This is the 60-inch. There's a 100-inch that I think we're going to go to next. You've got your Mercury base to keep it smooth and balanced. And we've got Astro Nate and his film crew here. He's got 1.7, 1.8 million TikTok subscribers, so he's talking to those guys. But he invited me to come with him on this tour, so. Yep. And this is where it all happened, where they did the plates. What's in there? Huh. Look at that. I feel like there's so many things on here where you could lose a finger. Gone. Someone says, I've always wanted to see that telephone in person. Yeah, it's a cool telephone. What is this? Just a tank of carbon dioxide. It's funny, all these old instruments. Oop, I guess we're leaving here. All right, we're gonna say goodbye to this telescope and we're gonna go to the next one. I'll probably pop off here. And we'll catch you a little later, but this was great. Thanks everyone for tuning in. And we might stay on for a few more minutes.
Anytime
All
a
right.
flat earther shows up, you have them put their head right here, give them one of these, and they no longer believe in flat earth.
They just got a flat head.
This is underneath the telescope.
This is
Holy cow.
serious stuff.
Look at that.
This one.
Ooh, that's what, 100?
I'll really watch my head here. Like that's sharp. Keep ducking down.
Remember, all this stuff was brought up here by mules. And here on site, they carved out each one of these individual teeth for the gears. There's a clutch system right here. Originally, this was driven with weights, sort of like a grandfather clock.
Okay.
And so there's the metal wire that's pulling on the gears. And if you engage the clutch system, kind of like a car, you're not pressing this against that wheel, and that wheel is driving the telescope. If you want to just move the telescope, and it had to be moved by hand in 1908.
So we're
you
at
engage
Learn
the
to
clutch,
Stargaze
you go up there and you get the 22
on
tons and move
Instagram.
it with your own hand.
So we've got Sunshine Nate here. This is TikTok subscribers, and we are below the 60th telescope at Mount Wilson
We
Observatory.
have a foundation within a foundation.
So we're in the basement here. And this would have been Hubble's, all Hubble's stuff. Look
Like,
at that.
That's the worm gear back here. And so those big wrenches, we can unbolt the mount here and adjust for whenever the North Star position changes.
okay.
So we're already, this has been here, what, 112 years or so? Somebody has to check my math, 1908 to now. And so we've already had to do one adjustment to compensate for the fact that the north isn't exactly north anymore. Remember, Earth has a 26,000 year wobble, so at 100 years, we have to make an adjustment. No problem, we have the tools and we just made the adjustment and moved everything. 100-inch telescope, we need to do that adjustment, but we don't know when exactly, if it was in the 70s or in the 80s. Somebody doing something up there welded shut that part where the adjustment
Oh
was
no,
made.
because this is the polar axis, right?
Yes,
So this is this is the axis that you need to polar align.
and so.
And so you
the
polar
100-inch
align
for
with
the longest
those.
time had a horrible position drift.
Oh, man.
And luckily, somebody invented software to correct it.
Oh,
So
nice.
now we point to where we're supposed to point, and the software knows to move it just a little to the up and to the left.
Someone's gonna. Has anyone ever got injured?
Oh yeah, I've hit my head a couple times. I think that's why I have these welts right here on my forehead. People always asking me why does my forehead look like that?
I'm just, so this is that would be at 6'1" right there, because I'm 5'11" and a half, so that would cut anyone who's over 6'1", like this character right here.
You can rest your head on it.
Yeah, like it's pretty close.
Giovanni, you're 6'2".
Oh,
6'3"? Yeah, easily.
So the telescope has different configurations. We can either put a cage to get a short focal run, almost close to prime focus. We have right now what is called a bent Cassegrain, because the true Cassegrain has, the glass has a hole in the mirror.
this is-
And in 1894, they didn't know how to make a
grease
hole in the
cat.
mirror accurately to make it a true Cassegrain. Matter of fact, Cassegrain just didn't exist.
There's your polar alignment screws.
And so we have a bent
Up and down,
Cassegrain.
left and right.
One of those configurations.
There's your axis.
We can flip the mirror And this is all hollowed out on purpose so that the light of the telescope can come straight down through here.
And then you go
and
down
hit the detectors down there where we break down the light.
Oh, no way.
Into a spectra.
So that's right through, so that's your polar scope.
Oh, yeah.
That's nuts. Oh, that's so cool. That is the polar scope. So you get into this hole.
We're gonna go down into the hole, John.
Oh, man. We're going down more. Okay, oh my gosh, the sounds. Okay, staying ducked, watching our steps.
Oh, yeah, go stand there.
Oh, they're going in the hole. They're going in the hole. They're in the hole. So is it polar aligned?
I think I see the.
Do you see Santa yet?
And does this collect rainwater or what?
It catches the excess oils. We have an oiler up there to keep all the gears.
Oh, sunshine day.
But you know, we do have some excess oil that drips down, and we just capture it and keep it lubed up as best as possible.
And here's some people.
Yeah, I think we might be coming up on
Back here.
the light goes right through here.
That is nuts. That is your telescope central axis. So this needs to point at the North Celestial Pole, which can move every over a 26,000 year cycle. So every century or so, you need to remember to move these a couple twists with the big wrenches. And so looks like up and down, left, right, and there's some more in there as well to make that movement. Okay, so I need to get there. Wait, what's flat tilt?
Yeah.
I think this probably moved at some point probably moved something, whether it moved the
that-
tertiary or
It looks like it moves the whole Earth.
what's a flat tilt.
That's how they fix it. Oh my gosh. Okay, I need to find them. They're in the hole. We're gonna go out, watching our step, coming around. I'm sure there's.
I think it should be fine. How many people are there?
Whoa.
People on the tour.
How many famous people have sat in that chair? Is this Hubble's chair?
No, I'll show you
looking-
Hubble's chair,
it's
but
looking
this
a
is,
little rough.
Sometimes you use some of these comfortable chairs and
It's seen a few bucks.
I've seen a few butts. That's it.
one day,
You're
would you
kicked
like
off
the honor
your.
of sitting on the,
Yeah.
and your butt will be the last one to have ever sat there, because I don't see anybody else sitting on that dirty chair.
Ready to do some telescope observing at the biggest telescope in the world in 1908?
I gotta keep it family friendly. Everything I can think about saying right now.
Just sharing the love.
I gotta see more butts in the comments.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hey, Dan. That is, and yeah, okay, I gotta look in the hole here. So again, this is your polar alignment. So we can polar align through the scope there and do your polar alignment with there. And the only time now you need to change that is, I guess, if there's an earthquake or when you have enough precession of the equinoxes, which so every 100 years or so you got to torque it, and you do your flat tilt, whatever that means. And that's probably where you mount your instruments to do your polar alignment. Okay, goodbye, chair. Okay, coming out of the hole. Oh, we gotta go up. Oh, we're back in the telescope room. Wow. Wait. Oh, we're done.
He just
Went the wrong
catching
way.
lights.
Oh, we're going up,
Yeah, we're going.
Oh, we're going up? Okay.
unless you wanted to see something else in there.
She says, we're doing our tour. Okay, here, you go ahead and I'll
Go
follow
ahead,
you.
because I'm gonna turn off the lights.
Oh, I'm gonna turn off lights.
All right, well, ending the live. And heading to the next.
That was got kicked out.
Show the outside of the building here.
Yeah, this is gonna get bright. Oh yeah, check this out. This is so cool.
They kind of break these up a little bit today.
We have the lot. We're here in the basement. Check out the lockers.
There's history here.
Check out the locker. Oh, it's open. It's open. Look. He didn't empty it. Edwin Hubble's locker with his stuff in it. Oh, that looks printed. But anyway.
Check
Incredible.
This is Hubble's locker.
No way.
Right here.
It's Wiki.
Still has his name on it. And a little bit Easter egg inside.
What did Zwicky leave?
So, pretty cool.
Oh, it's locked. Locked shut. Yep. That's Edwin Hubble's locker.
How wild is that, guys?
So Pettit, one of the guys that figured out we could land on the moon back in 1929.
Is this? Oh no, this is a different pet. Who's that?
Here's my favorite, guys. I know you don't want cursing, so it's just a little cursing. Zwicky,
There we go.
he's very, very famous astronomer. Did a lot of his work up here.
Fritz was his first name?
Yep. He had a favorite curse word. It's his curse word. I've never heard anybody else use it. But the curse is a spherical bastard. And somebody once asked him, why are you calling them spherical bastards? And his answer was just like chef's kiss. He said, because no matter.
This is the Mount Wilson Observatory. Look at, we've got some of the original instruments here off the telescope. Right here, look at the secondary mirror. Come here. Check this out. There's a secondary mirror assembly from 130 years ago. Collimate your mirrors, just like that. Not a problem. There's another secondary mirror assembly. Or, I mean, you put your instruments or your detectors there, so you put your plates up here where the secondary goes. So these you would swap it out. Here's your electrical diagrams, old control systems. Incredible.
We're doing live, another live here. We just gotta break it up. There'll be little gaps in between them. 'Cause
Okay.
it's different networks I'm jumping on and stuff in different buildings.
All right, I'm going to end here. So thank you so much, and tune in, and we'll be at another telescope.
The last set of weights that hold the telescope